That's typically what I feel like the role of a man is when your wife, partner, significant other, whatever, is pregnant. Just make life as easy as possible for as long as possible. And that's pretty much a job that never ends.
Okay, don't.
Yeah, that's what I say. Literally, that's a job that never ends.
First things first, tell me about you and Simona and how long you've been together and your sort of child history. How many kids we got here?
I'm Panama Jackson. My wife is Simona Noche Wright. We met in November of 2011. We're married in October of 2018. And we have 3 children together, 3 boys. I do have a daughter from a previous relationship. So we have 4 kids, 4 beautiful, loud, enjoyable, rambunctious, precocious children. The oldest is 12. My daughter is 12. And the youngest is 5 months, 5.5 months old at this point. And he lets us know every day.
5.5 months old, born in the pandemic of 2020.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit. I mean, you guys are not new to the parenting game.
We are not.
But you were likely, I'm guessing, new to the having a baby in a pandemic game. Can you tell me when you found out that you guys were going to have a baby, and where were we in this whole pandemic at that time?
All right. So we found out that we were going to have a baby in February. So before the pandemic hit, like really hit, before they shut down schools, before we all had to kind of go indoors for a little while, we found out we were pregnant when the story started to hit about the coronavirus coming to America.
What was your both of your reaction to just the pregnancy and the process of being pregnant and knowing that childbirth is coming? That's an adjustment.
I think there was also this certain excitement. We had, Simone and I had 2 boys at that point. I think there was kind of the idea, oh, maybe this one will be a girl too. We got another boy.
Ah, well.
No more babies coming. No more babies in this family. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
We love her OBGYN.
Yes.
Like as a couple, we
Yes.
love her doctor. She obviously loves her doctor, but I have a relationship with her doctor just by virtue of being there through childbirth and everything. And and we knew she was going to be the one who was going to be delivering and everything and taking, kind of shepherding through this journey. So there's a comfort there that exists because we've been through this before, and also because of the hands that we knew we would be in through this process. I specifically seek out Black doctors for that reason. Like there's a comfort there, but there's just this belief that there's this shared desire for the livelihood and the desire and want for health for me. Like I genuinely believe that the person sitting across from me wants that for me. And that ethos plays itself out so much when it comes to like my wife and her OBGYN. Like it just, like they have a genuine like for one another. I can't imagine going through that without having somebody there with you who has your back. Mm-hmm. There was a certain peace that I felt for the entire process outside of the actual physical act of giving birth and all of that. And she seemed to be doing okay mentally. Again, there's a comfort in having done this before, even if it had been a while,
Right.
that I think made it a little easier, at least from the anxiety standpoint.
What would you say the role of dad is during pregnancy and childbirth? And how has that changed for you over time? Maybe the first time, what did you think your role was, and how has that evolved?
I really think there needs to be more what dads are supposed to do in these situations. Like there needs to be, I don't know, there might be courses out there. I don't know if I need to do it myself. Like you read books and, well, I don't plan on having any more kids, so I'm out the game on that one. I feel like my role is to be a support, right? Like just to be there in whatever way is needed to ensure the most comfort and peace for my wife, right? Yeah. So it feels like a little bit of a cop-out answer, like just be present and be supportive and make sure that she's okay. But I genuinely feel like as a man, like that's the most And listen, right? And listen and pay attention and listen when she's telling me I'm not good or I need this. Like, just not being in her way when she don't need me to be in her way. And then when she needs me in her way, to be there 100% so that I can do everything that needs to be done, move anything out of her way that she doesn't need to be there. You know what I mean? Like, make her life as easy as possible for as long as possible.
Were you able to do that the first time she was pregnant?
That's an interesting question. We were not together the first time she was pregnant. We lived in separate houses, so probably we were going through some things, you know what I mean? Like, found out she was pregnant, so we had to have the come to Jesus talks and everything. So no, I did not make it. No, I did not make it as easy as possible the first time around. Both of us had to get past our own issues with one another because we're like, all right, well, we are bonded together now. We have to figure out how to do this, and then, trying to figure out outside influences and stuff. Like, it was a challenge. Like, and there's probably still some lingering stuff there, if I'm being honest, on her end, because I definitely didn't, not for lack of trying or lack of wanting to be it as easy as possible. I was unable to make it as easy as possible because I didn't know what I was doing. And in not knowing what people, how when you do stuff like that, you need to fix something, but you feel like it's going to be a bigger problem, so you let it go until you can't anymore. I was that.
Knowing everything that you know now, if you were talking to a young man who is separated from the pregnant mother of his child, what would you tell him to do?
I would tell him that every thought that you have that you think might be something you need to discuss it as soon as you have that thought. Do that thing that we think women all do when they wake us up at 2:00 in the morning because they just want to talk. Yeah, do that. Conversation, things that we need to figure out because we have a child coming, and you can't figure out stuff by yourself, young bro. Like, you can't do it. Like, you can't figure out a 2-person problem with one person. You need 2 people to figure these things out. And ultimately, I think that's what I would just recommend and suggest to anybody. Like, you gotta talk, man. You gotta have all the conversations that hurt, that are troubling. And the thing is, more than likely, she's thinking about it already, but it's something you need to bring up or bring to the table. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The conversations needed to happen, and I wasn't good about bringing those conversations to the table.
Did you all, presumably you had a birth plan because you have a doctor that you love, but how did that ultimately go? Because this is, 3 quarters into our year-long quarantine.
Did we have a birth plan? I mean, the birth plan was get young homie here safely, and epidural.
Yeah.
I think I remember with the first child, we had a whole conversation about birth plans and all this stuff. I don't even think I packed my bag until like a couple days before we left. I wasn't the only one though. My wife did it definitely before I did, but we were we were very late to doing that stuff. But when we got to the hospital, it was just like, she got an epidural. We were there. We were just waiting to hurry up and wait. I don't remember. There wasn't much of a birth plan in the way that you would think traditional birth plans. Yeah. I think we were ready to get to the part that we know is coming. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, having delivery is a big component. We're like ready to get home already so we can get to life, the life that we're going to have, because we've done this before.
Paint the picture a little bit. So you are there. You guys are masked up. I didn't have a pandemic baby. You got to tell me how this goes.
It was interesting. Like, all the nurses that came in. So the first time they came in, they were in like full hazmat suits. Like, it looked like a full hazmat suit. I'm kind of sitting in a very far corner of the room with my mask on, trying to just stay away from everybody. She had to take a COVID test, so they came in and gave her the nasal swab, not the invasive, like, poke your brain one. They come in to give the test. After it comes back with a negative COVID test, they were back in regular nurse scrubs and stuff like that, just with masks on and stuff like that. Everybody that came in over the course of the day was fully masked up, but it was, it was like, I don't even think I noticed because I feel like that's how they always do. Like, I feel like everybody was always masked up when in the hospital for those kind of reasons and stuff during pregnancy and delivery and stuff like that. So it didn't feel that different. We were there for a whole day and then like half of the next day. So not a full 2 days. So I don't know that we were there shorter than we were before. Maybe. I feel like before we were there for like 2 days.
So, it sounds like overall you guys had a really great experience. And it sounds like a combination of things, right? It's not your first time doing this. You have a doctor that you trust that is a Black woman, and that you supported one another, right? So my question for you is, do you feel that fathers can positively impact mom and baby during pregnancy and childbirth?
Yeah, absolutely. I hope so. I hope that's the goal, to positively impact, mom and baby during the pregnancy. Like, I'll put it this way. You can definitely negatively impact them. So you must be able to positively impact too, right? Like, if I can make your life worse while you're pregnant, then I can absolutely make your life better by doing the small things. And, look, my life has taught me that almost every woman I know appreciates the small things in life, right? Little things that let you know that you care, that you're making an effort, stuff like that. And that kind of gets back to my whole making life as easy as possible, which I think has a positive impact. Like taking care, like our other two boys that are here in the morning, like I get them up every morning. I give them the bath, get them ready for school and stuff like that. She didn't have to do that stuff. Like, she didn't have to worry about doing that. So she could lay down. If she was uncomfortable, she could lay around longer and stuff like that. I just feel like if I can make your life worse, then I can definitely make it better.
Yeah.
And my whole goal should be to make your life better. Like, if I'm not making your life better in some capacity, why am I here? Right? Like, what am I doing? You don't have to worry about the collapse of the household if you're not present, right? Like, that's one of the...
Not just mentally, but physically, because that
stress,
just all
that.
That frustration, that affects us physically, and we have another life that is, incubating in us. And so, my hope is that everyone, men, but everyone in a birthing woman's life can see that they have an impact. Right? That they can, as you mentioned, they can impact negatively or they can impact positively, and that truly affects the health and wellness of mom and baby.
Yep.
And get a Black doctor. That's my 2 cents.
Listen, yeah, thanks for having me. Couldn't be happier to be somewhere.
Awesome.